What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is Preview Picks, the weekly show where I go over all the comic books coming out on Wednesday, give you an idea what they're all about, and whether there's something you should talk to your shop about. What we're going to do is start off with independent titles, and we have Descender number 17 coming out. That's by Jeff Lemire, and overall he's been doing a great job writing this space epic. The watercolors really give a great contrast to the kind of like inherent violence going along with these stories, and Jeff Lemire's doing a great job writing actually some really great emotional set pieces for people that aren't even, people. They're robots, and that's fantastic. We also have Moonshine number 3 from Image, which is going to continue the tale of some supernatural endeavors that are associated with bootlegging back in the 1920s, 30s, Prohibition-era stuff. Green Valley number 3 from Max Landis and Giuseppe Camuncoli is great because now we're getting into a little bit more of the fantastical elements. The Knights of Caledonia are finally arriving at what they're going to call the Green Valley to take on a wizard and some dragons, and that should be pretty interesting. But the big independent book coming out this week is going to be Reborn number 3. So this is a book that's getting a little bit light on story, so I really hope there's something really solid and redeeming about this individual issue. But the thing you can't deny is that Greg Capullo's art is at the top of his game. I mean, it is fantastic. It's just a beautiful, beautiful book, and Jonathan Glapion is doing a great job with the actual inks on it too. Highly recommend it just for the visuals alone. But then we'll dart over to DC, and I'm going to talk about Suicide Squad number 8 just for one reason, and that's for the fact that there's a Killer Frost secondary story that's going on in this book, and ultimately I found that Suicide Squad has been pretty disappointing, but the Killer Frost story is going to lead directly into Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, so that's pretty much my only reason for even attempting to pick this book up. There's also Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 10, where we're continuing to figure out how the Corps is going to escape from the control of Brainiac, but it looks like Hal Jordan's going to get some help from Kyle Rayner to bring himself back from inside his own ring, the one that he created from his own willpower. So that should be pretty cool. Action Comics 969 is going to continue on with the Godslayers arc, so this is going to be the story of these alien individuals that are coming down to Earth to take on Lex Luthor and Superman, because Lex Luthor is evidently in the future going to enslave entire races of people. So we're going to see how that kind of fits. We also have Flash number 12, where they're continuing on the story in the Shadowlands. If you remember from last issue, the ladies have gotten corrupted, and I wonder if Flash and Kid Flash have the ability to run away from these kind of problems, or if they're going to dive deep into the dark. We also have Deathstroke number 8, where Slade is going to take on Supes, and right now it looks like they're on a battleship, so this should be a really interesting kind of encounter. I haven't really seen Deathstroke battle against Superman, so I'm really excited for that. We also have Detective Comics 946, which continues the Victim Syndicate arc, and we're going to focus primarily on Batman because Batman's evidently driving away a few of the different people that work with him. We've got a little bit of drama between Batwoman, Batwing, Spoiler, as well as the Batman himself, so it's going to be really odd to see how this one wraps up, but I have a whole lot of confidence in James Tynion IV and his ability to write a good story. We also have Wonder Woman number 12, which is coming out, and that's continuing the Year 1 story arc. It hasn't quite hit the end of it like the previous, the Lies arc in the main 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 stories. This is continuing on with that Year 1 story, and Nicholas Scott is doing a phenomenal job with the art itself. I mean, I'm having a really hard time deciding between the main cover by Nicholas Scott and this variant cover by Jenny Frison, because they are just crushing both of them. I might have to grab one of each. But the big thing to finish for DC is the DC Rebirth Holiday Special, and it's big in both its number of pages as well as its price tag. At $9.99, it's going to be a lot to invest in a bunch of holiday stories, specifically one-shots, but there is a lot of superstar talent in this book, so it's definitely something to consider. Once we make our way over to Marvel, we've got Silk number 15, which is a continued tie into the Clone Conspiracy, and this one still has zero effect on the story whatsoever, but maybe there's going to be a little bit of a different flavor to it. It's still something that I would recommend passing on if you don't really need to read it, but I'm going to grab it just because I need to know. Next we have Mosaic number 3, which is actually going to be the first encounter Mosaic has with his own superhero. So who is going to be the first person to be taken over by this body-swapping Inhuman? That's going to be pretty interesting, but I get a distinct feeling that the webhead might be involved. Old Man Logan number 15 continues on with a story in Romania where Old Man Logan's taking on Dracula to try and rescue Jubilee, who happens to be controlled by this person. So it's good, but remember, it's a different artist than Sorrentino, who's doing the main book's art, but don't worry, that's going to be rectified in the next issue when we get back to a main Old Man Logan storyline. This is the end of this kind of two-part series, so Definitely go grab it if you were interested in the first issue, but you can skip it if you want to wait until the art is back to normal. We also have Spider-Man number 10, which is going to continue on with the Civil War II storyline, and since Brian Michael Bendis is writing this one, it's probably going to take place sometime after, Tony Stark gets his ass punched through by Captain Marvel. At least, hopefully they're dealing with some sort of aftermath of this event, otherwise, why the hell are we waiting around for this? We also have Guardians of the Galaxy number 15, which is coming out, and the reason that I mention this is because the Grounded storyline brings all these characters to Earth, and it really sets up the premise of everybody getting their own book. So this is the real launching point for the Star-Lord individual book, the Gamora individual book, the Rocket Raccoon book, and then it's going to be interesting because I kind of want to follow along with this one to see how Venom kind of, gets out of the Guardians of the Galaxy and gets separated from Flash Thompson, and I feel like this is probably going to be one of the best places for us to find a few hints as to why that's going to happen. Speaking of Brian Michael Bendis, we have Jessica Jones number 3, which is coming along, and there's this Hydra symbol on the cover, so as she was abducted in the last issue, it's going to be interesting to see how that Hydra plays into this. As far as holiday specials, you have the Gwenpool Christmas special, which is coming along. It's like a holiday mix-up with Deadpool in there and Spider-Man and a bunch of stuff, and I'm not really super interested in it. I kind of fell off of Gwenpool, but it's something I want to let you guys know about. The one that I am excited for, though, is Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, issue number 2. While the main story of the first issue was a little bit short, this one is probably going to be utilizing a lot more of that real estate in order to kind of tell a little bit fuller tale. And the idea is that because they had to kind of compact everything, we did get kind of a truncated ending, and hopefully this gets to develop a little bit more of Mary Jane's character and give some specific reasoning as to why Annie Parker would have been in there in the first place and been even remotely interacting with the Mole Man. So hopefully there's going to be a little bit more development that helps make issue number 1 make a little bit more sense. To start off with new number 1s, we have Hawkeye number 1, which is going to bring Kate Bishop back to LA as the new and improved Hawkeye, and this is coming from the writer of A-Force, so this should be a pretty darn good book. Definitely one to keep your eye on. And finally, the Inhumans are going to battle the mutants. For real this time. Like, legit. I'm serious. I'm super serial, guys. IVX number 1 is happening, and man, this is going to be the make or break kind of situation because I think the price tag on this book is like $6. So it better be something even, something amazing, because you have to realize that at this point in time, Civil War II has not ended. The clone conspiracy is going on. Monsters Unleashed starts next month, and IVX is going to be releasing like an issue a week. And it's just, I'm so over events right now. So if this isn't something crazy, like crazy good, I have super bad feelings about this one, but that's why we go read them anyway. Those are the books coming out for Wednesday, but I want to know what you guys are picking up if you're picking up something different. So hit me up in the comments down below and we can have a conversation about that. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe right there to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.